All right, we are back. Hey, everybody. This is Kevin Gazitua with JAG Insurance with the latest episode of JAG University. I'm here with Yousif Mohamed for Movement Mortgage. Definitely check him out in our other segment, Building the Book. Here we are to dive a little deeper on the technical side, the world of loans. Yousif, thanks for joining us again, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kevin. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Yeah. So, our sales talk was awesome. Definitely recommend our viewers checking that out. But now I want to dive a little bit deeper into what you see out there. Tell me a little bit about what you saw over the last couple years throughout this COVID pandemic when it comes to the world of loans.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. It's been absolutely insane, as a lot of you guys have seen. So just, backtrack 2 years ago. We're looking, January, February of 2020. COVID was just starting to ramp up. Everyone's freaking out. There's a lot of people, man, were canceling their contracts, don't want to invest in the U.S. anymore. They're like, what's going to happen? Or is the world going to end? Yada, 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 right? Next thing you know, everyone's losing their jobs. They have to work from home and stay home, right? And they're like, okay, well, what do we do now? And they're stuck at home. Like, well, all of a sudden, a little flip switch in people's minds. They're like, okay, we have to work from home now. Maybe we should buy a home. Maybe we should expand our home. Maybe we should look for other real estate opportunities, right? Because this is the new normal, right? Is having an office in your house. So all of a sudden we went from, COVID being scared to buy anything to a huge influx of people trying to purchase property, not just locally, but a lot of people in other states, New York, California, coming in and saying, look, our company said, and in some cases we're working from home indefinitely, right? So let's move to somewhere that has no income tax, Florida, move to an awesome city, Miami, and let's buy real estate, and combine that with the fact that the Fed lowered interest rates to practically zero, so the cost of borrowing was super low. Next thing you know, you have this huge frenzy of people coming in trying to buy property at super low rates, creating an insane amount of demand, and then, the rest is kind of history from there.
Yeah. I mean, for someone in your position, sounds like a gold rush. Yeah, sounds awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
But, with anything, with the hectic nature of that environment, it probably presented its own set of challenges in its own.
A whole bunch of challenges, man, challenges like you wouldn't believe. Because what happens when there's an insane amount of demand and not that much supply? Prices go crazy. People were charging $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 more than a house was worth. You had people lining up around the block to try to buy real estate and to get into an open house, right? So that created a lot of issues with appraisals. That created a lot of discouragement. A lot of people who actually wanted to buy a house to live in couldn't do it because so many people were trying to buy a property, right? So fast forward till now, things are a little bit different because we're finally starting to see a little bit of increases in interest rates, which may not seem like a great thing, but in reality, as rates climb up, there's going to be less people that are able to qualify for property, which means that there's going to be less demand, which means things are going to start to normalize just a little bit. Sometimes you need a little bit of that normalization to create better, synergy for the overall population, right?
Yeah.
So over the past, let's say, month or so, we've seen pretty significant increases in interest rates. Nothing crazy, nothing to even like where it was 3 years ago. We're still under 4% rates, right?
Yeah.
But there's now more opportunities for buyers and first-time home buyers and people just looking to purchase property to actually be able to capture some sort of piece of property now.
Yeah, because there was like a crazy, influx of not only buyers and purchasers of property, but also all the refinances that were going on as well. It was crazy. Your market was absolutely blowing up during that time. But it's interesting what you mentioned. That's basically there's so much junk that gets thrown in the mix when you have that many people buying. But also, I'm sure there was a lot of people jumping into your industry who maybe didn't have a ton of experience, whether it be on the appraisal side, on the lending side, on the real estate side. And that had to also kind of, present its own challenges and delays and stuff you have to identify and deal with to make sure that your deal's a good deal.
Yeah, there's a lot of fallout. The beauty of our business, though, is we're 7 years strong. We have, hundreds and hundreds of transactions under our belt. So we've built a system and a process to take people like first-time home buyers, to take people like investors from point A to point Z in the most streamlined and efficient way possible. So we've kind of weathered the storm and come out stronger than ever.
Yeah, no, that's great. So, we have the buying frenzy throughout COVID with dirt cheap interest rates, transitioning to some sort of stabilization that we're moving into now. What do you see as far as outlook in the next 5 years? What do you think is going to happen?
I think that they have this rule that's not a hard rule, but it's kind of an industry known fact that as interest rates raise by 1%, the price of property usually drops down by about 10%. So we're going to see interest rates continue to climb up to normal levels, right? Somewhere around 4%, maybe pushing 4.5% in the next 2 to 3 years. And we're going to see real estate prices slowly become more reasonable, right? You have properties now that are very out of reach for a lot of people. You and I are local here to Brickell, and we see properties that 1-bedroom units that we used to be able to rent and buy that used to cost $300,000 that can now cost $600,000.
Yeah.
And that's not a smart investment, and that's not really a position we want to be in long term, right? So seeing some sort of stabilization is going to be amazing for people like us and amazing for people watching too, because they're going to have the opportunity to purchase real estate at fair market values and be able to take advantage of good interest rate prices, low down payments, and go back to the way things were and really just grow from there.
Awesome. Yeah. And that makes a lot of sense. And with the way you've built your business in our episode of Building the Book and kind of, finding the right partners that are already established in this business that do business the way that you want to do business, it seems like it's really allowed you to keep working with the right buyers, to keep working with the right properties, and to really, maintain your streamlined approach even during sort of these crazy times.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different variables when it comes to buying property. I mean, you have insurance, you have title, you have appraisals, you have the mortgage, you have real estate, you have inspections. And to be able to navigate that in a successful and efficient way is something that we've really come to not perfect, but created a system where it really, really works for people. And the joy that we bring people from taking them through an environment that could be hectic and create a stress-free environment for them really helps us shine. And the thing I'm most looking forward to over the next several years is seeing more first-time home buyers flock into the market and really showing them how easy and attainable it is to purchase property in a very streamlined way.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that sounds great. So for our viewers and listeners back at home, Yousif, why don't you share some of your social media handles? I know you do a lot of media yourself, to see how people can reach you and learn more.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Yousif Mohamed, but on Instagram, the handle is @thefitLender. So THE FitLender. So make sure to follow me. We post a lot of video content, a lot of educational stuff geared towards resources. So be sure to check us on Instagram, interact, message us. We love connecting with our audience.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us for another episode of JAG University. We have another one teed up coming your way. Make sure to check it out.